This is a Chuki beat production.
Hello and welcome to the channel, and welcome back to another GT Sport drift setup. This time round I wanted to take a look at the Mazda RX500. It's one of those cars that when it came out in an update quite some time ago now, I didn't really do much with it. I did drive around on it on the track, had a couple of goes with it. It felt alright, it felt very retro, very soft on the suspension, but I felt like it was time to take a look at it in terms of a drift setup. Now, this car is definitely not going to be for everyone. In fact, I think most people probably don't appreciate the style of this car. It's certainly something I look at and I find a little bit ugly. However, that being said, I wanted to give it a good go, it being rear wheel drive, and like I say, when I drove it before it was a little bit soft on the suspension. That normally gives you something nice to work with, something to throw the weight into the corners. And I'm happy to say it actually works really well. It seems pretty well suited to most courses that I've tried it on anyway. It does come up a little bit short in terms of power every now and again, but you can overcome it, learn the tracks a little bit better and just adjust your line slightly, and this thing does work really well. Just before I take you over to the setup I've come up with, I just wanted to say a massive thank you once again to everyone that's been supporting the channel. I really appreciate you taking your time out to actually watch these videos. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We've got content like this coming out all the time, and it's great to see new faces joining. Use the comment section down below to let me know if there's any builds you would like to see me doing in the future. And also, don't forget to give the video a like if you enjoy it. What I'll do now is take you straight over to my build and I'll explain what I've come up with a little bit further. So with the RX500, there's a few bits to change here. Power level wise, I've taken it all the way to the top there and actually raised it as far as it will go. Like I say, it is a little bit light on the power in some instances, so you need as much as you can get. Max power for this one with that set to 160% is 396 brake horsepower. Weight reduction wise, I've taken it to level 2 there. There's no point in taking it all the way to level 3 because all you can do is increase the weight. I've reduced it as low as I can there, which has given it 765 kilograms. Traction control is set to 0. I've got comfort hards both front and rear in terms of the tyres there. Brake balance remains the same at 0. Now ride height I have dropped all the way to 100 and 100, that's both front and rear. Natural frequency I've played with as well, that's set to 1.95 both front and rear. You did need to stiffen that up a little bit. Like I say, the car is incredibly soft when you first get it. You might want to play around with that. It is sometimes nice to have a bit more roll with the car, but that's where I found it to be about right. Anti-roll bar wise, I've got 7 on the front and 4 on the back. Compression and rebound remain exactly the same at 60, 60 and 90 and 90. Camber angle on the front is set to 3 and I've got 0.6 on the rear. The front toe angle is set out to 0.3 and rear is set in 0.15. You can't play with the downforce on this. The differential I believe I've left exactly as it was at 10, 40 and 20. And the transmission I've set to fully customised. Now I've set the top speed to 143 and I have had a little play with the gears here, so make sure you copy those over. Otherwise I did tend to find that third gear was a little bit short, and certainly for things like Suzuka you kind of want that extended a little bit, but that's exactly what I've done here and it seems to work really well. That should give you everything you need to get out there and enjoy this RX500. As always, just use what I've given you here today as a bit of a base. Obviously play with it yourself. Make sure it works for you and your style of drifting. What I'm going to do now is the same as always, which is just leave you with a few more bits of footage of me messing around with the car, and I'll see you all on the next one.
This is a Chuki Beat production.